Hard sports all plays. Yeah. Hard sports all plays. Hard sports all plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. Hard sport all plays, they work in your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. Hard sports all plays.
All right, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to Easy Money, a sports betting show, Friday, September 1st, 2023. I'm Chris Gonzalez, joined by Tony Gonzalez. How's it going?
Not doing too bad, other than Cincinnati Reds not doing too good. They're down 6-1 now.
Yeah.
So it looks like they're going to lose this first game of. I believe it's a double hitter, right? They play later tonight.
Yeah. Yeah, a game that was 1-1 in the sixth inning.
Yeah, not looking too good. Who started for the Reds?
I believe Ashcraft. Or not him, but I heard a stat. It was over. They said the Reds' last 15 losses, in 13 of them, the Reds have not scored more than 3 runs.
Yeah, that's been
And now this is going to be 14 out of their last 16 losses that they haven't scored at least 3 runs or more than 3 runs.
It's just we're just the opposite of what we was in the first half of the season. We were scoring 6 runs a game. We knew that wasn't going to keep up, and unfortunately, it's catching up with us at the wrong time. But we're still only a game and a half out of the wild card coming into this game, and if we could rebound and need to at least split this series with the Cubs, we need to win the next 3 now. We really do. But still, quite a few games left. I mean, a fair amount, not a lot, but enough to just being a game and a half out, you can get back in it and still get a spot.
Yeah, and I'm not sure who's. They didn't have listed who was pitching the next game when I was looking earlier. I think, if I remember, Abbott's pitching tomorrow. I think it was Ashcraft first game. They hadn't really announced the second game, and then it was going to be Abbott. If I'm remembering correctly.
Hey, Billy Buzz, how's it going? How'd you do yesterday? I went 2-1.
I had a good day yesterday. I was 5-1. I was 3-0 in Major League Baseball and 2-1 in my college football picks.
I took the Dodgers. Of course, they lost 8-7. Sounded like that was a pretty good game.
Only, I had the Braves, that one. I had the Giants, and then I had the Marlins. And then in college football, the only one that I didn't get was NC State. They only won by 10, and I needed to cover the 14.5. But Utah won by double digits, and that was only like a 4.5 point game. And then Nebraska lost by a field goal, and I had them at the plus 7.5. Minnesota was able to beat them, but it was a real close game. I figured getting that Matt Rule over there in Nebraska was going to be better. And Minnesota a couple years ago were real. I mean, they were pretty good, but they haven't been the same the last. Not that they're a bad team, but they haven't been as dominant, or not dominant, but as good as they were.
Yeah, middle of the road.
was I trying to do real quick?
Glenn said he just got his tickets for tomorrow. Midfield.
Yeah, I knew he was going to that game because he was talking about the other day. I know he's excited about it. Should be a good time. Hopefully, you can.
Notice the Fever's been playing a lot better.
Hopefully, you can at least not get murdered by Ohio
Have
State.
you noticed that?
Oh yeah,
The Fever have been playing a lot better.
a little bit too late in the season, but yeah, they've been playing. They've been playing better.
I seen Glenn posted it's still not quite out of the playoffs.
I think they had. I think there is still a chance.
Probably not a great chance, but a chance.
But if they'd have won something, if they'd have won some of them games that they had chances to win early in the season, they'd be sitting in pretty good shape now the way they're playing. Because there was at least 3 or 4 games where they had some leads that they end up losing that they could have won. And yeah, he said they're still in the playoff hunt. So. All right, here pretty good slate of baseball games today, and of course college football.
Yep.
Starting back up. So
yeah, I got a parlay for college football. I didn't know if you. I had something ready for UFC too. I don't know if you did anything or not.
I haven't, but I mean, I didn't. But yeah.
What the hell? You fallen?
Hey.
Fallen couldn't get up? What the hell's the deal?
I done that baseball and football. I didn't make it no UFC.
The hell?
But I only have one game going on right now. It's about ready to end. That's the Cubs and the Reds. Cubs are up 6-1 over the Reds. First game of a doubleheader.
Oh, that's great, Billy Buzz.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
yeah, that is a good one. Glenn said last week of the year, Fever's still in it, and be able to ain't been able to say that for at least 4 or 5 years. Yeah, no, yeah, they're playing better. Definitely are getting better.
You think they're just finally starting to gel? You think that's what it is, or
probably because you have a lot of young. There is a young players on the team because they were starting quite a few. They were starting 2 or 3 rookies last year, and then their best player, Boston, is a rookie this year. So.
Braves Dodgers game? I was kind of following it a little bit at work, and I thought the Braves had it. And Dodgers made a nice comeback. It still fell short, but
Yeah, I saw the judge said he was about ready to turn the game.
yeah.
Or going to turn the game and watch a movie. That he was over the Dodgers game, but then a little bit later I saw he posted he was glad he didn't turn it because it was a good game. I was laughing. Yeah, I was laughing because like, man, hey, like this game, it was 1-1. Looked like it was going to be a close game the whole game or through the game, have a chance, and then last 2 or 3 innings we fell apart.
Been doing that a lot lately, unfortunately. Still got some hope. Maybe they can pull it out. We'll see.
Why is it doing that? Let's see if I can get it back real quick. But all right, so yeah, my first game for tonight. What the heck is it doing to me here? Okay, there it goes. I'm gonna go with the Reds and the +1.5 against the Cubs in game 2. It's not. They didn't have the pitchers available yet. That's going to be the first one. But then after that, I have the Miami Marlins. You have the Miami Marlins against the Washington Nationals. The Marlins are on the mound for the Marlins is Perez. He's 5-4 with a 2.68 ERA. The Nationals will have Irvin on the mound, who's 3-5 with a 4.30 ERA. I'm gonna go with the Marlins on the money line. Then you have the Tampa Bay Rays at the Cleveland Guardians. The Rays are 1.5 run favorites, minus 180 on the money line. Guardians are plus 152 on the money line. Over under for this game's at 7.5 runs. The Rays will have Glasnow on the mound, who's 7-4 with a 3.12 ERA. The Guardians will have Quantrill on the mound, who's 2-6 with a 6.45 ERA. I like the Rays here on the money line. Then you have Seattle Mariners at the New York Mets. The Mariners are 1.5 run favorites, minus 106 on the money line. Mets are minus 110 on the money line. So this game's close to a pick 'em. Over unders at 7.5 runs. You have Gilbert on the mound for the Mariners, who's 12-5 with a 3.66 ERA. You have Senga on the mound for the Mets, who's 10-7 with a 3.17 ERA. I like the Mariners on the money line in that game. And then my last game for Major League Baseball night is going to be the Minnesota Twins at the Texas Rangers. The Rangers are 1.5 run favorites, minus 152 on the money line. Twins are plus 128 on the money line. Over-unders at 8.5 runs for this game. On the mound for the Twins is Ryan. He's 9-8 with a 4.33 ERA. You have Scherzer on the mound for the Rangers, who's 12-5 with a 3.71 ERA. I like the Rangers on the money line in that game. So my picks for Major League Baseball today: Cincinnati Reds plus 1.5, Marlins money line, Mariners money line, Rays money line, and Rangers money line. And that's for the Reds Cubs game number 2. I think starts like at 6:40 this evening, if I remember correctly. I think it was 6:40. For some reason, not showing it on here.
I think it's 6:40. I think that's right. I looked it up earlier. My parlay, Major League Baseball parlay for today, I've got Seattle money line at the Mets, Tampa Bay money line at Cleveland. I've got the Yankees at Houston. I'll take Houston money line, Baltimore money line at Arizona, and my last one, Toronto money line at Colorado. That's my Major League Baseball parlay for tonight.
All right. Did you want to do your UFC?
Yeah, I can do that. You want to? If I tell you who's fighting, do you want to make a pick or? Okay. Well, the first fight on the card for the main card is Gomez against Almeida. I'm going with Gomez. The next one is Aldemar against Guskov. I'm going with Odismar. Next fight is St. Denis against Moses. I'm going with Moses. Next fight is Farrat against Rose. I don't know how to do her last name, so I'm just going to say Rose. Rose is not the favorite in this fight. I know she's not looked great, but I'm going to say Rose is going to come back. I'm going to go with Rose. She's fighting in a different weight class, so I'm going to go with Rose. And then the main event is Gagne and Spivak. I'm going to go with Gagne.
All right. Let's see. I'm going to go with look at this real quick. I'll go with let's see, you got Scherer against Zucchini. I guess that's how you pronounce that. I don't think you said that one.
No, are you on the main card? I'm wondering if you're on the prelims.
It says main card.
Oh, they could have changed it too. Let me see here. You know how that goes.
Only 4 fights on the main card.
Main card, I got Gagne, Farrat. They're showing 6 now. What one is that? One of them that you had?
Yeah.
Okay, they must have added 6. I had 5. I didn't have that one.
I don't think that one's not on mine.
Which one? This one?
Yeah. Yeah. See, on FanDuel, there's only 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4. There's only showing 4 on here. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna go in that one. I'm gonna go with this Scherer. I'm not. He's a minus 350 favorite. He's a big favorite. So I'm not sure if that fight's gonna be on the main card or not.
Okay, Gomez and Almeida got canceled.
And then I'm gonna go with Ozdemir.
Yep, I went with Ozdemir.
He's minus 188 favorite. I'm man, that's a tough one. I'm gonna go with Farrat against Rose. You know, I think that's gonna be a good fight.
Yeah, I do too.
And then I'm gonna go with Spivak to upset Gagne.
Okay, I wonder what happened to the Moses and the St. Denis. St. Denis.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
It's not showing it canceled here.
Let's see. Yeah, I'm not sure because that was only showing three fights on the prelims on here, so it might. So who knows?
I'm gonna keep. I went with Moses. We'll see if they fight. On this, it's showing it as a fight.
It's showing it on here now,
Okay.
but that's weird. I had to go to a whole different.
So what do you think about that Moses St. Denis fight? Again, I went with Gagne and Rose and Ozdemir and Moses. Those are the 4 that I had picked. I had the Gomez. I made a fight. I didn't know they'd canceled that.
Yeah, I'd go with St. Denis.
St. Denis going opposite me. I don't blame you. The way I pick them, so. Should be a pretty good card. That's on at 3:00 tomorrow. UFC Fight Night. So people want to tune in. It should be a pretty good, especially the Rose fight and the Gagne fight. I think will be good. And honestly, I think that St. Denis fight will be good.
Yeah, it's not a bad card. Okay. Billy said, "Yeah, it's 640." I was gonna say I thought it was, but for some reason they weren't showing that game on FanDuel anymore. I don't know exactly what's going on with that, but you never know. All right, college football. Got a bunch of college football games. Games I like. I'm gonna go with for Saturday. They're gonna be. I'm gonna go with Michigan at the minus 35.5 against East Carolina. Even though Harbaugh's not going to be coaching, that does worry me a little bit. But I think there's going to be too much for East Carolina.
Real quick, what do you think about how they're doing their coaching? They've got like one guy doing one half, another guy doing another half for the games. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of weird too. I think that's just Harbaugh trying to show them guys, hey, go ahead, you can suspend me, but it don't matter. It's not going to really matter. But I don't know. I could see maybe letting one guy do it one game and the other guy do it the next game if you wanted to, but switching by quarters and halves is
a little strange, I think.
Yeah, I thought it was a little different,
but Harbaugh's always been different anyway.
Yeah,
so
that's true. Then I'm gonna go with Tennessee at the minus 27.5 over Virginia. Penn State minus 20.5 against West Virginia. Colorado plus 20.5 against TCU.
I kept going back and forth on that game.
I'm going to take Ball State plus 25.5 against Kentucky.
Brave man.
That's going to be my 5. That's going to be my 5 games that I went with for college football this Saturday.
Yeah, my college football parlay that I have up for Saturday. Man, like I just said, I keep going back and forth. But Colorado, TCU, I went with TCU minus the 20.5. Virginia at Tennessee, I went with Tennessee minus 28. Is that the same thing you
had? Tennessee?
Yeah.
27.5.
27.5 now. Okay. and I went with Texas Tech minus 14 at Wyoming. And that's my parlay for college football for tonight.
I almost went with Texas Tech in that game. I was looking at that one as well, but I decided to go with Ball State. I don't think Ball State's going to beat Kentucky, but I do think that they could keep it kind of close. When I say close, maybe like around 14 or so, not like real close, but I think they could keep it within the 25.5. I mean, Ball State's had a pretty good team the last few years.
Not terrible.
Not if you compare them to like the big schools. No, they're not great, but they've been competitive.
You're going to take them plus 45 against Georgia next week?
Probably not. I don't know. It depends on what Georgia looks like this week and what Ball State looks like. Plus they're the hometown team, so I like picking them sometimes. Just kind of like same way I've been picking the Reds almost every game here lately. Even though they've been struggling a little bit. But
well, that's the problem with Ball State. They didn't have a bad year last year and had a great running back, that surprised everybody. And guess what? He's no longer there.
Well, that's the problem with small colleges was this transfer portal. I think they said there was over 20, what was it? Over 20 something quarterbacks or colleges that have new starting quarterbacks this year that from the transfer portal. Well, Notre Dame's one of them. No. I don't know if he transferred this year, but he did transfer from the transfer portal at Hartman. So I mean, you're that transfer portal to me is going to really end up hurting the small schools because you get a good player and he's gone, and not just in football.
Who did that running back go? Ball State? Would they go to IU?
I think it was IU. I don't know if that was really that much of an upgrade over Ball State. I guess getting more national exposure at IU maybe, but other than that, is it really? You know what I mean? Is IU really that much of a better? And I'm an IU I'm an IU fan,
yeah.
But I mean,
in the Big Ten, more exposure, yeah, definitely. But yeah, I mean,
team wise, I don't know if IU is really that much better. A few years ago.
Last night's wrestling was badass till my internet failed. Got to go back and watch from.
Oh well, yeah, you got to go back and watch the last three matches.
Oh yeah,
because you're going to love that Luke Savage and Dalton Love match, Billy. The main event.
The main event was great, and then also he would have missed the Hadari and Maliko, and that's a hard hitting match. But they actually about broke the cage.
I'm trying to remember what the other match he would have missed would have been. There was three matches after intermission.
I just watched it.
Because the tech match was the last match before intermission, and there was three matches, but I can't remember who the third match was.
Oh, Jackson Morgan
and Zay Gates.
Yep. And that was a pretty good match.
And that was a good one too.
So the main event was really good, and like I said,
what'd you think? What'd you think of that barefoot tech match? that was crazy, but Dalton and Luke. You got to watch that main event. Them two put on a heck of a show that night. It was a real good main event.
It had the light tubes out, a little bit of everything in that match.
But no, you're right, Bill. That was an awesome show. It was a fun show. We had a good time that night. Nice setup there outside the building. They waited, and they usually start at 7:30. They end up not starting at like 8:30, trying to let the sun go down a little bit, so it wasn't as hot. They said they were going to start at 8, but they were not starting until about 8:30 or a little after.
Then we had trouble with the lights.
Had some trouble with
plug everything in the world to one plug.
Hey, you got 2 extension cords running everything.
Let's plug 20 things into one thing. It'll hold up.
Hey, it held up.
For a little bit.
It made it the whole show.
Yeah, it didn't make it eventually.
Well, we changed one. We ran another cord to a different plug, and you had all of our stuff, the sound, and then
them lights,
and
when
then
they added the lights,
and all the floodlights. And the floodlights hooked up all to one outlet, so and then they had entrance lights hooked up to another outlet. So we ended up adding a third outlet somewhere else in the building, and they got it to work. But California ended up winning the Little League World Series. Team from Southern California.
I didn't think USA was going to have a chance. I really thought that Taipei team was going to win it, but they
got upset by Curacao in that international championship game, and then California was able to beat was it Seattle?
Yeah, Seattle was.
And who they had to play in the United States championship game, or was it Texas?
Oh, United States game was California and Texas.
Yeah, and then California beat Curacao, if I remember correctly, on a walk-off.
I think so. Yeah, the last 4 games, last 3 games were real good. The 2 championship games for the American side and for the other side were really good, and then the championship game, the World Series championship game it was all good games.
Yeah, they were all real good. But yeah, them last 4 games was real good. I watched all of them. I didn't see the championship game because we was at a wrestling show. But got to see the international championship and the United States championship the day before. But I forget who it was. Which that California team had the best 2 hitters in in that World Series. Them guys, I think both of them had hit like 3 or 4 home runs apiece, and they'd had if you looked at the numbers, they had hit the ball. I forget what their actual average was, but they were the best two hitters, and that's really kind of carried California with them. California's offense carried them. They had some good pitching too, but I was surprised because you had that guy from Chinese Taipei that was throwing 81, 82 miles an hour, and they brought him in that international championship game. That's when Curacao scored the runs.
Yep, that's what you said. Said you thought the coach made a mistake at the time.
Yeah, I did. I think it's easy to do. I think he kind of outsmarted himself a little bit. You had a pitcher in there that was rolling. It was in the 4th inning, 0-0 game, and you decided to bring in that guy. And I know what his plan was: try to use him for his 20 pitches, get through that inning, but then he brought him in. They got 2 runs, and then they took him out and brought this other guy in, and they didn't give up nothing. But a couple errors. There was a couple errors too, but it was just the Curacao team was able to put the ball in play off of them. The first team that did, and especially in Little League, sometimes that's all you got to do is put the ball in play, even if it's at somebody. So, putting the ball in play, good things can happen.
Well, that's the thing. Taipei had been beat Curacao earlier pretty handily, and so I was kind of surprised.
And it was funny, not funny, but it was just kind of different the way Curacao's game plan was that game, because they were trying to, against that first pitcher, the one that didn't throw as hard as that guy, but he still threw pretty hard, but he was a good pitcher. They were taking a lot of pitches, trying to bunt, really wasn't swinging the bat, trying to work up his pitch count and get guys on bases. He changed that pitcher and put that big guy in, and they came out the inning swinging the bat and got a couple hits. Air later, and you win, and you're in the head. It's
probably waiting on the fastball,
I don't know if they got what it was, but it was like their whole philosophy changed. You would have thought it'd been the other way around. Because I kid throwing 82 at 46 feet. That's equivalent to like 105 mile per hour fastball in Major League.
I don't know how they get the hit up.
Yeah, 46 feet, man. That's crazy. I've been behind the plate as an umpire, a kid throwing like 73, 74. Right around there, maybe 75. I couldn't imagine 82 from 46 feet. And I'll tell you what, I don't know how some of them umpires umpire Little League baseball, man. Them strike zones. I understand you have a little bit bigger strike zone for Little League, but you can't have it so big that you have kids swinging at bad pitches. There was balls that would come across right under their chin. Curveball coming right across, breaking ball coming across their chin and dropping, and they're going to the strike. It's like, kid can't hit that. Or they'll get too far outside. Yeah. Give a little bit off the plate on each side. I'm fine with that, but you can't give
4 inches
or 6 inches. Which hell, you see that in Major League Baseball now.
There's some umpires.
Oh man, they're talking about going to the damn electronicums, and I'm not a fan of that.
I'm not either.
Believe me, there are people who go, oh, then it's a strike. No, there's ways that can be manipulated too, and then you're going to have these pitches that are a ball 98% or almost all the way there, and that are barely going to clip it, and people are going to be mad about that. I mean, either way, there's going to be people complaining. I don't know. I'm just not a big fan of switching to all electronic. What happens if right before the game, all your system crashes and stuff? I mean, I don't know. To me, it just adds room for more problems.
I agree.
But all right. I'll go over my picks real quick today. Major League Baseball: Reds plus 1.5, Marlins money line, Mariners money line, Rays money line, and the Rangers on the money line. College football tomorrow: Michigan minus 36 or 35.5. Excuse me. Tennessee minus 27.5, Penn State minus 20.5, Colorado plus 20.5, and Ball State plus 25.5. Don't forget this Sunday we'll be live 4 p.m. Eastern with Summit in Greenfield, Indiana for Summit Pro Wrestling. Should be another great show. Also, if you missed the WCWO Cage of Hell show that we aired last night, go check it out on our YouTube page at Gonzo Sports Room. Please hit that subscribe button while you're on there. Also, like and follow on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, all at Gonzo Sports Room as well. We appreciate everybody joining us, and we'll be back on Monday with another episode of Easy Money, the Sports Betting Show. Hope everybody has a great weekend.